Returned once again today to actually deliver another episode of Hinamatsuri. In this stream, we are covering episode 5 of Hinamatsuri. So yeah, it's not actually a day late this stream. It's the fact that I actually also cover the fan subs of this show because it tend to be a lot better than Crunchyroll subs currently. So that's why I don't always cover it on a day of release. Otherwise, I would have covered the Crunchyroll subs yesterday, but there's been times when I realised, oh god, they aren't that good, so I thought I'd actually change over for this show to actual fan subs. That's why it's actually kind of a pseudo day late, but I don't really count as a day late because this is the true way of watching it currently, I think. So yes, last week's episode was pretty freaking heavy, I must say, actually. Like, more heavy than I actually imagined it to be, but hopefully this episode actually does in theory just kind of elevate the happiness just slightly, otherwise I will be really freaking depressed. Because goddamn, was last week's episode really goddamn depressing. Like, it was actually kind of funny, but at the same time it was just like, yeah, that's really depressing. You just don't know whether not to laugh or cry or do both at the same time. That's the problem with this show. You have no idea whether not to laugh or cry, or actually just laugh and cry. Alright, so, gone live for Hinamatsuri episode 5. Yeah, chat is working, I think. Hopefully, I think it's working. Yeah, so I've noticed that Crunchyroll subs have kind of like translated things really weirdly. Like, it's strange. Like, it's not like 100% terrible, but it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't feel right sometimes. That's why I kind of changed up the fan subs. I thought to myself, it might be better just to do it this way. It's kind of the truer way of watching it, I think, currently. So hopefully it might have improved since then, but episode 2 and 3 were kind of spotty, to say the least, as I would say. I mean, they translated the word cabaret to a completely different one. I was like, but it's just called cabaret. I don't know, but anyway, that's why I changed over to fan subs. But anyway, enough talk of random thoughts that do pop into my head sometimes. Let's actually watch this thing. So in 3, 2, 1, let's begin this thing now. Oh, it's actually still really bad. Oh. I haven't seen since episode 2 because I thought to myself, yeah, episode 2 was not good. It's one of those things I thought to myself, it's better just to kind of watch some fan subs. There was another show that did that once beforehand. I can't remember what it was. There's another show before this, actually. The same thing happened, the same fate. I like Anzu's character. I think she's really neat. I think she's a really good contrast to Tina's character. I mean, they all kind of do contrast her pretty freaking well, but I think Anzu does it really perfectly. Because it's two extremes when you think about it. You've got Nita's kind of relationship with Hina, you actually got then Anzu's relationship. She pretty much is punished Anzu. It wasn't even her fault in the first place. So that's the problem. When you think about it, it actually wasn't even her fault. The problem is this show is one of those shows that I really want to read a manga, but I'm like, do I want to break the rule of watching the show but also reading the manga at the exact same time? I don't know. Because it's one of those things that's been eating away at me. I'm like, I want to continue reading it on. Hello. Man, I miss CRT TVs. They were the days. They were the days. I mean, CRTs are kind of still sort of valuable, maybe, in a way. Like, it's one of those things that people still use CRTs because a lot of the things nowadays, well, not nowadays, but all the old stuff doesn't really kind of run very well on HD. So CRTs are still kind of somewhat valuable, I guess. Oh man, poor Hitomi. She was trying to do the right thing. She was trying to do the right thing, and life just kind of doesn't like that. God damn. God damn. Life is just unjust. Oh man. Why does Anzu break my heart every single time? Anzu's just breaking my heart every single time. This episode's taken quite a turn. I didn't expect this to actually happen this soon as well. So I was kind of expecting that at one point they're probably gonna explore the whole idea of someone finding out what Hitomi's doing. I didn't expect it episode 5 though. Oh man. Can we actually get a if we get a spin-off, which is actually a detective show, which actually includes Hina at the same time, just in the background? It'd be the greatest thing ever. It's a completely separate show. It's about detectives, but it's just got Hina in there as well. Oh man. Oh! 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 Oh man, that was needed. That was an episode needed after episode 4. My God, that was a good episode. I mean, when you think about it, Hitomi was a walking Chekhov gun at that point, because it was you're kind of expecting something's gonna happen. Like, they have to find out what's going on. Like, someone has to find out. But the way they kind of took with it was actually it was an interesting turn. Indeed, poor Hitomi. All she does is to bet everyone else, and then life just keeps on throwing her constant, like, just not good things. All she wants to do is to bet everyone else, and she can't. It's horrible. You're like, please, we need that Hitomi justice. Why can't we get Hitomi justice? Why is there no such thing as Hitomi justice? Oh man. But yeah, it was interesting the way they actually kind of took the whole entire thing, because again, it was essentially a walk-in Chekhov gun, because let's face it, you have the teacher going into the bar and you have her going to the bar, so you're kind of like, it's a walking Chekhov gun, it's waiting to happen. You have to find out what's going on there. But I mean, it was actually it was interesting to actually do it at this point in the narratives. I thought, oh, it happened later into the narrative, because it's one of those things that they have to build up this whole entire thing, and then it all just kind of come crashing down. But it's interesting, I actually kind of took it at episode 5. I thought it was actually kind of a better way to do it, because now we've got the whole entire cat out of the bag. So it might be interesting to see where this whole entire thing goes next. Like, this whole entire idea, whether or not they actually will say anything, whether or not it just be kept a secret, we don't know. But it was interesting to actually kind of, at this point, kind of take that whole entire plot point on. But, I mean, it was waiting to happen anyway, so it's interesting that she did it at this point. But yeah, I mean, the major takeaway from this episode really is Anzu's character. Anzu's character is kind of the major kind of shine of this show. I think she's just so freaking good. Like, she's one of those characters who is kind of needed in the narrative as well, because let's face it, she's kind of a massive antithesis to Hina's character, and I think she's actually kind of neat for that reason, because she's kind of a character who's lost everything and actually has to kind of value everything at that one point. In essence, you've got that counteracted with Nita and Hina, who Nita literally gives Hina the money to go and buy a TV, and in essence you got Anzu trying to find a TV. It's interesting how they're kind of going about just kind of contrasting those characters, because you see it all the time, this idea of how she actually kind of she wants kind of friends at the same time. It's the problem with Anzu's character. She values everything, but at the same time she wants friends, and she wants to actually kind of get a game to actually then play with Hina. It's actually kind of, she's adorable, because she's kind of like, you want her to kind of, as well as Hitomi, see justice. You want that Anzu justice, because she's not a bad person by any stretch. In the time we got to see her in the state that she's actually in, we actually kind of grown to appreciate her as a character, because she's going to appreciate everything else around her. Actually kind of then allows her for it to grow, and I thought it was actually kind of a neat thing to do. I thought it was a different way to look at things, because otherwise you kind of can go through this whole entire show with just Hina's character kind of just being how Hina is, but to actually have that counteract is actually kind of a neat way to look at it, because it kind of then allows you to see the different side of it all, the kind of different side that we don't actually kind of see in most other shows. So in essence, that whole entire plot point with Anzu's character is really freaking well done, because let's face it, we need it. I think we need it at least. It was one of those things I actually kind of liked. This idea of how she actually can, in theory, just go buy a TV and actually then go and sell it. And then you have Anzu just kind of trying to find a TV for like love of money, and she can't find one. And she thought she found treasure, and in the end it was worthless. It was actually kind of depressing when you think about it. But it's one of those things that in the end, you actually kind of appreciate how she is as a character, because she's growing and she's actually kind of valuing things as time goes on. I think that's actually a really, really neat way to actually kind of character develop. So yeah, I mean, really, all in all, it was a really fantastic episode. It really was. I thought it was actually one of those episodes that it was needed after last week's episode, because last week's episode actually was freaking depressing sometimes. I was like, damn, I came here to laugh, not to feel. But this episode was actually kind of like, it was sort of somewhat feelsy, but it was actually nicely kind of contrasted with quite a lot of humour that actually was really freaking well done. So yeah, I actually can't believe we're actually about midway through the series already. It's already midway through this whole entire season. I'm just like, oh my god, we're already there at this stage. It's actually kind of surprising. So yeah, hopefully the series actually does continue in this vein, because again, as I always said about comedies tend to kind of falter around episode 7. It tends to kind of wear thin, and you're kind of like, okay, so where to go now after this point? But certainly shows this season and last season and the season before, up to even to summer, have all kind of surprised me in the way they've actually kind of sort of kept going and not stopped. So hopefully Hinamatsuri does continue in that vein, because if it does, it will be fantastic by the end of it. I think it'll also be one of those ones to read the manga afterwards as well, though I do hear it gets really depressing really freaking quickly. So I don't know, but either way, hopefully the show does continue in this vein, because if it does, good job. So yeah, with all that said, I have indeed been the driver. If you have enjoyed this whole entire stream on Twitch, then do leave a follow, because indeed it does have quite a bit of enjoy doing here on YouTube, and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does have quite a bit of enjoy doing here on YouTube, and you want to stay that little bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed it does have quite a bit. But until tomorrow, with holy freaking hell, what's happening tomorrow? I have no idea. Whatever happens tomorrow, I shall be there. So until then, see you guys later. Bye for now.